Oops. Okay. There's some 1/16 ounce jig heads. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. That's about how tight you want that, by the way. And I'm going to be tying a crappie jig with this stuff, which is just a chenille, plasticky chenille that sparkles. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't have a name on here anymore. And some marabou. And that's it. That's pretty much what we're going to do. Okay. White thread on a bobbin. Just going to start it off here. It's called a jam knot, I guess. I lost my scissors. Oh, I couldn't find my other scissors, so I'm using these huge things. Alright, but we're going to cut off the length of this. Not that long. And we're going to move all the way back to the end here. Right about here on the hook. I don't know if you can see that very well. Wearing the improper colored shirt, I don't know, but this stuff is like, what we're going to do is tie in some marabou on the end. It's right at the bend of the hook. I'm just going to pull some of that off. And you don't need a lot. And how I do it is I pull this up, pinch it, so I can go as loose as I want here, because I'm pinching the line, and then I pull it down and tighten it. Because sometimes getting under the bottom part of the hook is a little bit difficult. And 3 or 4 wraps is fine. Cut off this crazy excess. And this is a real quick way to make a crappie jig. Actually tying this in, coming in this direction, laying it up here, and over one time, tying it down a little bit. I'm going to go up to the front, all the way up on this lead part, because we're going to palmer this, which basically just means wrap it around here. And if I did it right, the big if, this should go all the way to the front. I'm backing off here because I need to get a little bit tighter. You do want these kind of close to each other because you don't want any gap. You don't want the hook to be sticking out. And I'm going to kind of make the head, it's already bigger for obvious reasons. The lead is up there, but I'm going to wrap it over itself a few times. as much of this stuff as possible. And I just lost it. That's embarrassing. There you go. And then you just go over this piece. Cut that sucker off. Cut it down tight. A few good knots. I don't know what these knots are called, I forget. I usually do like 4 or 5 of them. Generally speaking, I don't have to use glue when I do that. Alright. Cut that off. I'm done. This little thing here, I swear, will catch more crappie than you can imagine. And this one is tied horribly. It looks hideous. I apologize for that. But just that, go thin with the marabou. You don't need so much that on the commercial jigs, you don't need that much. This could be bulkier, and I could actually add to that. Generally, when I tie this, it's with a much smaller, believe it or not, jig head. This is kind of large for the crappie that we catch around here, but they can still get their mouth around that hook. So there's crappie jig number 1. Hopefully this was enjoyable, or at least somewhat instructional. This will catch more crappie than live minnows will. I don't know why. Not always, but generally. So when it comes to crappie fishing, in the spring anyway, I just simply put that specific jig on a bobber, I toss it out, and I let it sit. Crazy. It's called a jig for a reason. Usually you're jigging it up and down, either from a boat, vertically, or up and down, or you can cast it out and jig it back to you, cast it to the shore and jig it back to you. You can cast it and just retrieve it, but generally speaking, there's better tools for that. Just throw a white grub, that's going to look a lot better. So, my personal opinion is very simple. You cast it out, you find the right depth, you cast it out on a bobber, and you let it set. Ooh, there's a deer over there. Wonder if I can get over here. Probably not. I'm gonna try anyway. So anyway, casting and retrieving, not so much. Casting it out, oh, she ran. Casting it out on a jig or on a bobber is the way to go. Just let it sit. Every once in a while, impart a little bit of movement, and you're gonna catch a lot of crappie that way. As long as you have the right depth. You have to be right above the crappie. That's very important. But that's my crappie fishing experience. I'm sure that everybody has their own. Crappie are not that difficult to catch, so you just kind of play around until you find the right depth, and you can literally let that jig sit there and it'll impart its own action, subtle action, and you can catch fish just letting it sit there on a bobber as if it were bait. So that's my crappie advice. Crappie advice, maybe. I don't know. Have fun.